So hey guys, this is Piper here, and today we're going to be doing a Rome to War tutorial. So in the game you have light cavalry, you have heavy cavalry, you have chariots, you have skirmishers, and all these cavalry units have different speeds. Some of them are the same speeds, but they vary between each other. So you have light cavalry, you have heavy cavalry, which are slower than light, and you have chariots. And you might be inclined to believe that all light are the same speed, all heavy are the same speed, but they actually vary quite a lot. So what I've actually done is I've actually modded the game files, and I've actually been able to create an army that has all the light cavalry. So what we're going to do here is we're going to test the cavalry and find out the actual speeds. So what we'll do is we'll run this test quite fast, and I'll demonstrate the speeds of the light. So we'll start here, and we'll try and get it the same. That's about the same. So that's the test started. So you notice how the left hand side they've actually started before the right hand side. Let's get this done fast. So you can see here, even the side that started at the same time, there's actually varieties in the actual speeds. I'll just pause it right here. This is like all the light cavalry in the game. You can see here, left hand side, light lancers are the fastest, desert cavalry, equites, headhunting maidens, militia cav. So they're definitely really fast. Greek cav, barbarian cav, Nubian cavalry, Drencho cavalry, and you have Persian cavalry and nobles. These are they're not actually classes light in the game. They're actually medium cavalry, like heavy cavalry, but they are actually horse archers. So what this test proves is what I've actually found from testing previously to this. You have two tiers of light cavalry. So if I go through the list here, I did the test yesterday. You have the fastest light cavalry in the game. We'll call that group tier 1. Consists of light lancers, desert cavalry, equites, militia cav, pontic light, standard horse archers, and they're the eastern and the Scythian as well. Cavalry auxilia, Arab cav, Numidian mercenaries, they're the Jav cav of Carthage. Horse archer mercenaries, they're the ones for, I think it's them, they're the Scythian ones. I think Dacia gets them as well, and Scythian noble as well. So that's tier 1. So they're the fastest light cav in the game. Group 2, we'll call it tier 2, consists of Greek cav, barbarian cav, Nubian cavalry, they're the Egyptian cavalry, never pick them in a battle. Round shield and long shield. So there are two distinct groups in the light cavalry. You have two at the end. Persian cavalry, they're the elite missile cavalry for Persia, and Scythian noble archers, they're the best ones for Scythia. They're actually slower than tier 2. They're actually the same speed as heavy cavalry. And it looks a little bit unorganized, like it's not a complete line there, but I've tested before and these are all the exact same speed. It's just that testing so many at once, it distorts the timings, and tier 2 are all the same speed as well. So the next part of this tutorial, I'm going to test the chariots in the game. So like I've done with the light cavalry, I've modded the game files and I've put all the chariots into one army. So here we have all the Egyptian chariots, all the British chariots, and the Scythe chariots, and the Pontic missile chariots. So they're the chariots that are most used in the game. I haven't done the Rebel chariots, but we'll leave them. So I'll run this test fast and we'll see what the outcome is. Basically, the Britannian chariots are the fastest, and they all have the same speed. The next fastest are Egyptian. They all have the same speed as well. And the last chariots there, the Pontic archer chariots and the Scythe, they're the slowest, and they both have the same speed. I'm going to be looking at the heavy cavalry, and just like I did with the light cavalry and the chariots, I've actually modded the game files, so I've been able to put a lot of the heavy cavalry in the same army. So in this army, I don't have all the heavy cavalry, obviously it's more than 20, but I've got some of the key units, and I'll go through all the heavy cavalry at the end. So I've got Cataphract Camels there, Cataractes, Armoured Eastern General, Praetorians, Sacred Band, Companion, Gothic. So they're the bulk of the heavy cavalry there. That's what most people use. You've got Egyptian chariots, British heavy chariots, and now cavalry. So what we'll do is we'll get this test started off and we'll see the results. So that's the test started. Get it speeded up as well. So when we tested the chariots, we learned that the Bretonian chariots are the fastest in the game. Then the Egyptian chariots were second fastest. So you can see here the Britannian chariots are very, very fast. So pause the game here. So Britannian chariots are the fastest, obviously Egyptian chariots. But then we look at the heavy cavalry. We got Praetorians, Sacred Band, Companion, and Gothic. And now they started a bit later. So they're all the same speeds. So all the main heavy cavalry in the game, Praetorians, Sacred Band, Companion, they're all the same speed. The Cataphracts, as expected, are a lot slower than the chariots and the cavalry. And the Camels are even slower still. So any cavalry that doesn't say fast moving will be the same speed. So that includes noble cavalry, Macedonian cavalry, Pontic heavy cavalry, and that also includes the Persian horse archer, the noble horse archer, and I'll rephrase that, the Persian horse archer and the Scythian noble archer. So they're all the same speed. So any that don't say fast moving, they're going to be the same speed. You've got another group, and they're the general units, and they are faster than the heavy cavalry, and they're actually the same speed as the tier 2 light cavalry. So the next part of this tutorial, we're going to look at camels. And everyone knows that camels are slower than regular cavalry, but we're going to try and test and find out the exact disadvantage. So here we have a range of different camels here. I've modded the game files again. We've got Cataphracts there, Cataphract camels, camel archers, horse archers, Numidian camel raiders, and long shield cavalry. So get this test started off and we'll see what happens. So as expected, the horse archers bombing it ahead. They're the tier 1 light, remember, so they're going to be the fastest. Long shields are second. So if you look at some of these results here, obviously they came in first there, long shield came second. The Cataphracts came third. The camel Cataphracts, not that far behind actually, although the camel archers they're very far behind. And Numidian Camel Raiders also quite far behind. I actually ran this test yesterday, and the results I actually got back were basically the horse archers are affected most by the camel disadvantage and the speed. I reckon they're about 40% disadvantage. The next that are affected are the camel riders, like the light cavalry, and they're about, I reckon, about 35%, probably 30%, 35% affected by the speed, and the camel cataphracts are affected the least by the speed. They're about 10%. So that was basically some calculations I did yesterday. Not saying those figures are 100% accurate, but they're very, very close. So in this next part of the tutorial, we're going to look at cataphracts. And cataphracts we tested before in the heavy cavalry. Cataphracts are slower than regular heavy cavalry. So we're going to try and test how much slower they are. So obviously the Praetorians are miles ahead again. They're using that advantage. So they're not really that much slower, to be honest. That's really what, not much at all, like a couple of percent, 5% possibly. You have cataphracts here, good morale. Praetorian cavalry, they have good morale but also good stamina. So what will happen is the test that we've done here, initially 1 versus 1 when they both have full health or full energy. Cataphracts aren't that much slower than Praetorians, maybe a couple of percent maybe, but over a long period of time these guys are going to tire a lot faster than the Praetorians. So over a course of a battle, these guys will be a lot faster because they'll have a lot more energy. That appears to be the main difference between cataphracts and Praetorians. So we've done a lot of testing there. We've discovered there's a lot of different speeds in the game. And what I'll do now is I want to summarise all the information that we've accumulated so far. So there's like 5 speeds in the game for the different units. We'll call it Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 and Tier 5. So Tier 1 they're the fastest units in the game. They include the Bretonian Chariots and the fastest lights in the game, the light cavalry. And those lights include the light lancers, desert cav, equities, militia cav, pontic light, standard horse archers, cavalry auxilia, Arab cav, Numidian mercenaries, horse archer mercenaries, and the Scythian noble. And that also includes all the Bretonian chariots. So they're the fastest cavalry in the game, and they all have the exact same speed. So the next group we'll call Tier 2. They include the second tier light cavalry, and that includes the Greek cav, Nubian cav, long shield cav, round shield cav, barbarian, and Roman cavalry. And they also include the Egyptian chariots as well, and they also include all the generals that say fast moving. So that includes like Roman armor general there. Any general that says fast moving, they'll be within the second fastest group in the game. So we'll go down to group 3. That's going to be called Tier 3, and that's basically all the heavy cav in the game and the side chariots. And the heavy cav will include basically everything that doesn't say fast moving. So that'll be Praetorian cav, put them there, Sacred Band, Companion Cavalry, side chariots, and obviously all the ones that aren't here as well. So that'll be Gothic cav, Nile cavalry. So everything there that doesn't say fast moving, that's heavy cav, will be in there. And what I'll do is I'll make a summary at the end in a text format as well, so it's all written down, just to make it a bit easier as well. So I'll go down to Group 3, that includes Cataractes and the Armoured Eastern General, so anything that's a horse that's a Cataract will be in this group. They're all the same speed. All these groups have all the same speeds amongst each other. Group 5 are the Camels, and they are all the same speed. So that includes the Cataphracts Camels and Camel Archers and the Raiders as well. So that's the end of the tutorial. What I'll do is I'll summarise this in a text format at the end, so it's all written down so you can refer back to it. Hopefully you guys have taken away something from this tutorial. You guys have learned a bit of information. Hopefully this will help a few of the newer players as well, learning the game and learning the stats and learning about what works and what doesn't work. So thanks for watching this tutorial. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really helps the channel a lot. Stay tuned for more videos. This is Piper signing off.